So for tracheostomy, lahi-lahi ang RBS code depending on the situation. If it's a planned tracheostomy, 31600. If it's a tracheostomy under a patient, for a patient under 2 years old, 31601, and the list goes on. For mechanical ventilation, if the patient had mech vent for an unspecified duration, you would be using 96.70. For mech vent less than 96 hours, 96.71. And for more than 96 hours, 96.72. So there is no need to memorize these codes, since these codes will be included in the implementation manual. So one of these will be specified, and these are special coding rules because siya yung lahi-lahing scenario, like for mechanical ventilation, time dependent. For tracheostomy, it also depends on the situation, whether it is planned, emergency, or whether it was a pediatric patient, or what approach was done to the tracheostomy. So let's have an example. We have SAH, an 83 female admitted for 22 days for traumatic subarachnoid hemorrhage. She also has non-insulin dependent diabetes without complications, and she had surgery of intracranial aneurysm via the intracranial approach. Additional procedures included tracheostomy, a transtracheal approach, and she had continuous mechanical ventilation. So kabalo naman tao sa ibutang sa PDX, SDX, sa procedures, no? So naturally, traumatic subarachnoid hemorrhage would be here, PDX. Diabetes, 11.9, would be secondary diagnosis. Procedure, 61700, will be here for the first box. That is the surgery of the aneurysm. Tracheostomy, which is also an additional procedure, ibutang sa RBS2, which is 31603, specific for tracheostomy by the transtracheal approach. And the patient had continuous mechanical ventilation, so a code for continuous was 96.70. Running it through the software, we would have a DRG code of 01150, which is tracheostomy for neurosurgical disease with mech vent of 96 plus hours, no comorbidities or complications. Another special coding rule is radiotherapy. So for radiotherapy or radiation, we encode Z51.0, which is the ICD-10 code for radiotherapy. And we put this as a secondary diagnosis. And we encode the specific RBS code for radiotherapy if applicable. For parenteral chemotherapy, we use Z51.1, which is ICD for chemotherapy. And we put this in secondary diagnosis as well. And we encode the specific RBS. So let's have an example using these codes. We have OVF, a 45-year-old female admitted for 7 days. She has cancer of the ovaries, and she also has neoplasm of the fallopian tube. She has hypertension as well, and she was admitted for chemotherapy and radiation therapy. So primary diagnosis, C56, which is ovarian cancer. Secondary diagnosis, C57 for neoplasm of the fallopian tube. I-10.9 for hypertension. And we put the ICD-10 codes for chemo and radiation therapy here in the SDX portion as well. And then ang chemo or radiotherapy na kung siya ay applicable RBS. So ibutang ko na ito ang iyang applicable RBS sa procedures. So Z51.1 is for chemo, 96408 also ang iyang RBS code. 751.0 ang iyang ICD sa radiotherapy, 77401 ang iyang RBS code. So you might wonder naman, ano magutang mag ICD-10 sa secondary, then magutang na mo ka RBS sa procedure boxes. So this is done to ensure the actual procedure was really done during the admission. You know, the patient may have been admitted for a planned radiation therapy, like CFT 1.0, but unfortunately, namatay siya o nakabot. No? So ensuring that the RVS code is encoded here, sabot ana, the procedure was actually done for the patient. No? So panisya, lahit panisya, this is the diagnosis, and this is what attests to the procedure really being done during the admission. So wala siya ang logic behind it. So running it through the software, we have code 3619, ovarian or adnexal malignancy with chemo and radiotherapy with or without comorbidities and complications. Another special coding rule applies for obstetric cases. So for admissions that resulted to live birth delivery, we use our O codes. So these are ICD-10 codes specific for obstetric cases from O60 to O84. And they may be coded as either primary or secondary diagnosis. So ICD-10 codes that do not pertain to anything delivery related should not be encoded as primary diagnosis for obstetric cases. Also, the following cannot be used as primary if the admission resulted to a live birth, abortion, false labor, antenatal or postpartum care, or post-abortion care. Of course, no, it makes sense. Live birth mo ka, ano, abortion mo kita. Ano, false labor, ano kita. So, false labor would mean wala kang anak, actually. But live birth there. So, there's a discrepancy. Thus, you cannot use these as primary diagnosis for an actual live birth. So delivery codes must be consistent and related with their procedure codes. So procedure code, RVS code counterpart. So for CF5 specifically, so we do not use the package codes here. The package codes, we use it for the ACR system. But for shadow billing, gamit mo ba tang NSD01, FCP, NSDBF? Yes or no? No, right? For the purpose of shadow billing, we do not use these package codes, only for old ACR system. So let's have an example. We have NSD, a 24-year-old female, Gravida 1, 27 weeks. She had spontaneous vertex delivery. She has no secondary diagnosis, and she had 59409, which is vaginal delivery as per procedure. So it's a major CF5. Primary diagnosis would be O80.0, spontaneous vertex delivery. Secondary, according to the chart that out, so black. 59409 is the procedure for vaginal delivery. So simple enough. DRG would be 14080, vaginal delivery with non-OR procedure without complicating diagnosis. Next we have NSD, a 24-year-old female admitted for 2 days. Still Gravida 1, still at 35 weeks. She had false labor before 37 weeks of gestation. And then she had spontaneous vertex delivery also. And she had vaginal delivery only as the procedure. So how would this look like if we put this in CF5? So according to this CF5, O47.0 is the primary diagnosis, which is false labor before 37 weeks. And yung secondary diagnosis is spontaneous vertex delivery, and then vaginal delivery at the RVS. Does this CF5 make sense to you? Sensible ba siya ng CF5? False labor daw, yung primary diagnosis. False labor ng anak, wala. False gani, diba? False, pero according to the secondary diagnosis, ang nanganak daw via spontaneous birth delivery. And then, napon siya yung RBS code to prove it. So if muna ang other inputs CF5, and we run it through the software, errors here. So DRG 26529, unacceptable selective diagnosis combination. So kung ito ang given kanina, it has to make sense, otherwise, grouper will not process your CF5. Next example, we have ECS, a 22-year-old, admitted for 4 days for eclampsia and labor. She delivered via emergency C-section. She also has diabetes, which was found during pregnancy. So what would the CF5 look like? So the primary diagnosis, ang ibutang nila was 015 or O15.1, which is eclampsia and labor. Secondary diagnosis, O82.1, coding for emergency C-section, and diabetes in pregnancy at O24. Applicable procedure, 59514 for cesarean section. Now, do you think this CF5 makes sense now? Simple, right? So we'll see. Let's run it for grouper then. So grouper accepted it with a specific DRG code of 14013. Cesarean delivery with severe, multiple, complicated diagnosis. So medyo bukan na siyang admission, no? Because she was admitted for eclampsia, which is a complicated case. She also has diabetes in pregnancy,